Are you ready, Steve? Andy? Yeah! Bert? Well, all right, fellas. Let's go!
You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro. Joining us today, Mr. Michael Borth. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon, welcome back. Today is Thursday, 18th day of November 2021. Thanks so much for joining us. Whoever you are, wherever you are, we're just glad to have you right here, right now. If you can't see the screen I have up, go to our homepage at cfrn.net. On the right-hand side of the page, click the big microphone, follow the instructions. You'll be registered in about 30 seconds, and that will give you one-click access to the show each and every day. It also gives you access to the question box so that you can ask questions and participate in the discussion. On the days you're out of the office, away from your desktop, just find any internet-connected browser and point it to cfrn.net/live. There you'll find a live, real-time simulcast of the show as it unfolds. You just won't have access to the question box. And of course, we do stream live each day on our YouTube channel, which is very easy to remember, youtube.com/CFRN. Not only do we broadcast live each day on YouTube, but we archive each and every daily show. Currently, we have over 1,800 daily live broadcasts archived there for your educational and viewing pleasure. With that, we'll open with a word of prayer. Yesterday we prayed for Uganda, and we continue to pray for Uganda, the people of Uganda, the friends, the family that we have there. Today, God, we're going to pray for our country. Father, we thank you for your blessings, for your mercy, and for your grace. We pray for your great healing on our land. Shine your face on us, dear God, because we need you now more than we ever have before. Our time, this time, is in your hands. We thank you that you are rich in mercy and full of grace. We thank you, God, that you are forgiving and merciful. We thank you that you are strong and mighty. We thank you that you are for us and that you fight our battles for us. May we bring honor to your name, for you alone are worthy. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. All right, happy Thursday. I hope it is a happy Thursday for you. Whoever you are, wherever you are. Let me give you the numbers from around the world. These are the cash markets. We'll start out with the indices, as they're called. Starting here in the U.S., the markets are mixed. We've got the Dow down 52 points, while the NASDAQ is up 69. The S&P 500 is up 14, and the Russell 2000 is down 10. No movers, no shakers. In the commodity basket, crude oil up 16 cents, trading 78.52 last. And we have rolled forward to the January contract. Crude is always the first contract that we roll into the new year. So we're now trading GCLF 22. Gold is down $7, trading $18.63.30 last. Silver is down 21 cents, trading $24.95 last. That's a drop of almost 1%. Silver's down 21 cents. If it was down 25 cents, that would be $1,250 per contract traded. In the Asian markets at the close, the Nikkei posted a loss of 89 points. The Shanghai dropped 16. The Hang Seng fell 330. And for the Hang Seng, that's a drop of over 1.25%. In the European markets at the close, FTSE down 35, DAX down 29, the CAC down 14. That gives us a red day in Asia. It was a red day in the UK. And so far it's a mixed Radio Thursday here in the US of A. The four major indices, we like to see all four of them in the green or all four in the red. That makes for the smoothest trading. And we don't care if they're all red or all green, and that's the beautiful thing about futures. You can be long or short and long again in the same hour if that's what the chart in front of you calls for. The difficult trading comes when the markets split the way they are now, with the Russell and the Dow in the red, NASDAQ and the S&P in the green. With that, we'll go to Michael and get a recap of everything that happened this morning in the live training room. After that, I'll come back. We'll take a look at the Logic 247 alerts, the concierge trade alerts, and at any point during the broadcast, if you have a question, just type it into the question box. Nobody sees what you type but us, and we're more than happy to answer any and all questions that you have. So Michael, if you are ready, you can take it away. And if you're not ready, I can go to the daily chart of the S&P. Which looks a little something like this. Okay. We have been trapped for 4 days. 1, 2, 3, 4. Between the daily step line and the daily CFME1, which I refer to as red and falling or blue and climbing. Obviously, one is bearish, the other bullish. Red and falling represents resistance, where blue and climbing represents support, except when blue and climbing gets directly above price, then it turns into potential resistance. And so Monday we were trapped between support at the step line, resistance at blue and climbing. Same thing on Tuesday, same thing on Wednesday, and here we are on Thursday. Now we attempted to break below the step line. You see the little wick there? But when we hit the weekly trading zone at 4670/4671, buyers came in and drove us all the way back up to blue and climbing, where once again they have run into resistance. And Michael, I believe that's you I hear?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It is indeed.
If you're ready, you can take it away.
All right, here we go. There.
Okay, I can see your charts. It's all yours.
All right, here we go. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Thursday. Partners meeting tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern. Today is Thursday, the 18th day of November 2021. If you've not taken a free trial with us and you want to, then go to eminitrainingschool.com. On this page, just scroll down right here. And all that we ask for is your first name, your email, and your phone number. You can tell us the biggest trading challenge so we can tailor one-on-one training just for you. Hit the send button, you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link, okay? Once you click the confirmation link, well, then we know you took the free trial. We don't know you took the free trial until you click that link, all right? All right, now, the spreadsheet. All right, now, if you're gonna read the spreadsheet, you gotta read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today is the 18th day of November, 2021. We made 8 ticks in crude, 28 ticks in gold, and 8 ticks on the ES. Put us at plus 460 on the morning session. Today it took 31 minutes and 6 trades to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're up $160 a contract, and we took a total of 20 trades this morning. So on the month now, we're at $4,597. That's over 14 trading days, averaging $328 per contract per 2-hour trading day. On the year now, we've gotten our goal for the day on 220 out of 223 possible days. And that puts us at $126,805. $126,805 per contract. That's over 223 trading days, averaging $568 per contract per 2-hour trading day. Now, if you were to quit when you got the goal for the day every day, today was a little bit longer. That's what bumped it over 60 hours, but you would have worked a total of 60.27 hours, and you would have averaged $2,377 per hour on the year. All right, now let's get into what we did and didn't do. We'll start out with the ES. Now, I was saying, as we finished up the morning session, it started this huge run right here, but it didn't give us any opportunity to get into it. On the pullback right in here, it still didn't give you an opportunity to get into it. Then it got in the zone, and it was stuffed up in the zone, and it didn't give you any opportunity over here. Finally, it gave you one little opportunity right here that would have been a break even. But I was saying at the end of the morning session, price was trading right about here, and I was saying look for it to get up to the BBC, and boy did it. Went up to the BBC, through the BBC, and all the way up here. Now, from a 30-minute perspective, I can see it selling off right here. There was some selling pressure here before that sent it all the way down to there, but it might go up just a little bit further. You know, if you look all the way over here, there was selling pressure here. It might go up just a little bit further before it does. Either way, I'm just going to suggest you trade what's in front of you, because right now, that's not giving us a lot. But the trades that we took, let's go back to those. Okay. Here we go. Our first trade in here ended up being a long break-even trade right here. The next trade was another break-even trade, then another break-even trade. We had this huge run down here, and that looked on a 30-minute candle. That was like this right here on a 30-minute candle. Okay, we had this huge run down. Then we had a couple of trade opportunities in there that we ended up with break-evens on. Went right into the weekly trading zone, then came right back out of it. And I was looking for 50% retracement of that big candle, and that's what we got. If I bring this up like this, this is the 50% retracement of this big candle. Okay, and well, that's what we ended up with. And then we took another trade right here, gave us a break even. Then as it was working its way up to this weekly trading zone, toward the end of the session this morning, we took another trade here with +8, and we had a break even on this one. So we ended up with just +8 on the ES today after 5 trades, it looks like. Okay, we'll go to gold. Gold is where we actually stopped out and ended up getting the goal for the day, I think, this morning. We started out here with a break-even trade on gold. Then we stopped out -8 ticks, and it went on to do what it should have. Then we had another break-even trade, then a +11 right there. That put us on gold. That put us at +3. Then a +8 right there. I thought that was +9, but I wrote it down as +8. And that put us back to +11. Then over here we had a 17 tick trade to put us to +28. Then we followed that up with a 5 tick trade to put us to +33. A break even, a 1 tick trade to put us at +34, a 2 tick trade to put us at +36. Then a stop out to put us back down to 28. Okay, and that was the end of our trading this morning on the gold. Now, I was looking for gold. I'm still looking for gold to get back down into the woo area, but this woo spot here, I got into it and it started to go. It went halfway, and then it came back up. What I said it needed to do was probably going to do is pull up to the BBC during the break, which is done now. And now we're going to look for a close back down below the MA1. So look for gold to get back down below 1862. And if it does, it should be a nice clean ride all the way down to 56.5. All right, if we close back down below 1862. So that's what we'd be looking for now. I'll close down below this level right here to shoot right down to this level, because you would be in the woo spot then. All right, now we'll see what comes of it over here, but it's going to be in a little bit of chop right now, I suspect, while it's in between right here and right here. This is sort of what Dwayne was talking about on the large time frame on the ES. How the ES has been bumping back and forth, but the ES is it's bullish looking if it breaks up above it. This is not looking so bullish if it breaks up above it. This is looking really bearish if it breaks down below it. So that's what gold looks like right now. And we ended with plus 28 ticks this morning on gold. Now, crude oil has been, well, what were we looking for on crude? I was looking for it to get up to this level right here during the break. And, you know, I was thinking it could probably go a little bit further than that. But now that it's gone there. It's a little bit bullish down here, but it could pull back from here. I got to go back to the gold for just a second. I want to show you one other thing that I was looking for this morning on the gold. The woo spot, I think I showed it to you already, but we're looking for it to get all the way down to here. Okay, now I was looking for that all morning, for it to get all the way down to here. Okay, that's all on that one. Let me get back to crude. In crude this morning, our first trade on crude, we picked up 5 ticks. We missed this one, and we picked up 5 ticks here. We didn't have anything there. I want to show you one other thing on gold in a minute here. But we picked up 5 ticks on the first one, then 2 ticks on the second one to put us to plus 7. Then we had a break even. I missed this trade right here. And it looks like I picked up 1 more tick here to put me at plus 8. I missed this bounce right here, which would have been nice. Missed that. And it looks like I actually got something here, but I didn't write it down. And I had another break even right here. And that was where we ended the morning session on crude. Okay, now I didn't write down any levels in here. It doesn't look like on the upside. So this was the last level I wrote, and we obviously hit that one. And so other trade setups during the break, there was a short right here and a long right here. There's also a long right here. Momentum long right there for a couple of ticks, and a trend line long right here for about 10 ticks. Okay, now the one thing I wanted to show you back over here on gold was this spot right in here, these 3 trades. Now the last couple of days I was able to tell you on other markets, I think on the ES and on crude, where we had the highest probability trade, followed by the second highest probability trade, followed by the third highest probability trade. Okay, we had the same thing happen in this time, but I saw it ahead of time, and I told everybody ahead of time that this is probably what's going to happen when we had this highest probability trade with just a little bit of a trend to it. So we took a short there, and I ended up with a break even, and I knew when I got taken out of break even that we're going to have a good run on that. And then, I mean, I could see where it was going to go, and we were looking at it. I was looking at it over here on the 30-minute because it was just breaking down into the woo area right here at the time. It was right in here. It was breaking into the woo spot. And we saw that one, and I said, okay, well, this is the second highest probability trade because it didn't hit the BBC, but the MA1's the right color, the cycle's still the right color, and you got the pullback. So we took that one, and we ended up with a break even. But you can see I could have taken 5 or 6 ticks. So on this one, I could have taken about 10. And the last one here, I said this is the third highest trade probability. This one did actually hit the BBC, but the cycle was the wrong color. So you had to close below the trend line. So right there, we got in below the trend line, and we took a little bit more. Well, we took a little bit of profit on that one. We should have taken profit on those first 2. But the last couple of days, I had the opportunity to show you on different markets how that had happened, I think on the ES and on crude. And today it happened on gold. And I was able to tell everybody this morning before it happened that this is probably what's going to happen. So it was a good opportunity. And I'm glad the markets offered that up for everyone this morning. All right, so let's go back to here. All right, now, if you're going to read the spreadsheet, you have to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today is the 18th day of November, 2021. We made 8 ticks in crude, 28 ticks in gold, and 8 ticks on the ES. Put us plus $460 a contract. And today it took 31 minutes and 6 trades to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're up $160 a contract, and we took a total of 20 trades this morning. That puts us at $4,597. It's over 14 trading days. That's on the month. At 4,005 on the day, it put us at 460. On the month, we're at 4,597. It's over 14 days, averaging $328 per contract per 2-hour trading day. And on the year now, we're at we hit the goal on 220 out of 223 possible days, putting us at $126,805. So 223 trading days, averaging $568 per contract per 2-hour trading day. So if you were to follow the blueprint that we give you when you become a partner, and you quit trading when you got the goal for the day, and you added 1 contract per month, and you got your goal consistently, and quit trading when you got your goal for the day, you would have worked a total of 60.27 hours so far this year, and you would have averaged $2,377 per hour. Okay. Now, if you've not taken a free trial with us and you want to, go here to eminitrainingschool.com. Here, all we ask for is your first name, your email, and your phone number. You can tell us the biggest trading challenge so we can tailor one-on-one training just for you. Okay, hit the send button. Once you hit that send button, you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link. Okay, if you don't click that link, we don't know that you took the free trial. So click that link, and we'll send you a free trial. Okay, click that, and then click the follow-up link. All right, and with that, we can pass it back out to fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Wait, looks like you are ready.
Yes, sir. Ready. Recap of the recap.
Today, we got our goal in 31 minutes and 6 trades. We were at $160 per contract. Sorry, $160 per contract.
Good job.
Thank you.
Good job. Okay, that's what happened in the live training room in the 2-hour window this morning from 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Eastern. What's happened all week with Logic 247, which is our around-the-clock 24/7 Emini alert service. It includes all the E-minis plus crude, gold, and silver. The global markets open Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern and remain open until Friday afternoon at 5 p.m. Eastern. There's a 1-hour break each day from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern. Tonight, or this afternoon at 5 p.m. Eastern, the Thursday session will end. And at 6 p.m. Eastern tonight, the Friday session will begin, even though it is still Thursday here in the US of A. Since the markets opened Sunday night, Logic has issued a total of 58 alerts. 12 never triggered, still waiting on the outcome of 4. We've had 42 actionable alerts, of which 7 or 17% would have been stopped out based on not risking more than $300 per contract per trade, less when possible, using market structure and a simple 3-step process that we teach all of our traders. Now, along with the Logic alerts, which come out around the clock, we still have our original alert service, the concierge trade alerts. The format is different. It is delivered via Telegram. However, it is a static report, and the numbers are good for the entire session. It's important to make note at the time this is posted, whatever markets you trade, what's the price at the time the report is posted. Because if price starts trending up towards 46.90, that's bullish, and that's where you'll use everything you've learned in the live training room along with Logic 247 to find opportunities to be long the market. On the other hand, if price starts trending down towards 46.75, that is bearish, so you'll use everything you learn in the live training room with the help of Logic 247 to find opportunities to be short the market. So when we go to the charts here in a few minutes, You'll see how I've drawn a line in the sand at 46.90 and a line in the sand at 46.75, and the same for each one of the markets. Now, a couple of headlines I think worth sharing today before we go to the chart. So I'm going to share them with you because I found them interesting. This one, if you have an iPhone, it's kind of a big deal. Apple will finally let customers fix their own iPhones. Apple's self-service repair program will begin selling parts for the iPhone 12 and iPhone 13 early next year. Up until now, the only way to fix an iPhone, as you iPhone owners know, has been to visit an Apple store, send it back to Apple, or go to an authorized service provider. The decision comes as a surprise to some, as Apple has for years lobbied against the consumer's right to repair their own devices. According to The Verge, the announcement follows ongoing pressure from repair activists and regulators. The program will start with iPhone's most commonly replaced parts: screens, batteries, and cameras. I don't know if you've ever tried to replace the battery in your iPhone. There's a guy that has a video on YouTube where he does it in 10 minutes. After 10 hours, my wife and I just threw everything in the trash. And that's a true story. Screen. Yeah, we didn't learn enough from the battery, so we tried. My nephew managed to save the day with the screen. So supposedly Apple's going to make it easy with good instructions, and you need special tools to do the job. The most commonly replaced parts are screens, batteries, and cameras, but eventually more components for iPhones and parts for even Macs will become available. And here's big news. We all know about the Staples Center out in LA. LA's Staples Center is being renamed Crypto.com Arena. The arena, which is home to the LA Lakers and LA Kings, will be renamed in a $700 million deal. That's a big number. That will make Crypto.com the team's official cryptocurrency platform partner. Nike is ramping up its video game efforts as part of its emerging metaverse strategy. The retailer has named a 7-year company veteran as its head of video game partnerships. Now, if you're not familiar with the whole metaverse, the original metaverse was something, it seems so prehistoric now. It was called, it'll come to me in a minute. It was an early vision of what the metaverse has come to be today. Hopefully it'll come to me. And if you don't know, Facebook has changed their name to Meta. Okay, just like Google changed their name to Alphabet, but yet Alphabet still owns Google, YouTube, and all of its subsidiaries. Meta owns Facebook. Meta just previewed haptic gloves that will let people feel objects in the metaverse. The gloves, which Meta said it's been working on for 7 years. Remember, some years back, Facebook bought Oculus. That's that headset you put on, puts you into virtual reality. Simulate the feeling of touching an object in virtual reality. Now, needless to say, this is going to be quite popular on the quote-unquote adult websites. But a startup says the gloves look substantially identical to its own patented tech. You can watch Mark Zuckerberg play with the mitts here, but we'll pass on that. If you've considered learning how to code, be careful. The biggest coding boot camps may be exaggerating their success rates. While competing with other boot camps for enrollment, some programs may have a financial incentive to overstate their effectiveness. So, coding's not a bad job. In fact, you can get hired in an instant once you actually learn how to code. This one's important. An electric vehicle battery shortage could be the auto industry's next chip crisis. We've talked about this on the show. There's a chip shortage, and lots of automobile manufacturers have cars sitting out there, all decked out, ready to go, brand new vehicles, but for the lack of one or two tiny chips that might cost less than $1, they cannot roll those cars out to the dealerships that actually sell them. Some experts believe that as EV production ramps up, there may not be enough batteries to go around, and it could cut global auto production by around 4% per year between 2025 and 2028. So how do you play this? Well, some people don't know this, although I've shared it on the show before. One of the ingredients in the electric batteries can only be found in a couple of places in the world. It's called lithium. Now, the lithium, you've probably heard of the lithium shuffle. That's when someone gets very depressed and they put them in a mental hospital and they give them loads of lithium and they just kind of shuffle around in a daze. Is it the same lithium? It is, but formulated differently. Okay? So, there are a couple of publicly traded companies out there in the business of mining lithium. Again, there's only a couple of known lithium deposits worldwide. That may be how I choose to play this potential battery shortage. Amazon has said it would stop accepting UK-issued Visa credit cards, citing high fees. The company told customers it would stop accepting credit cards on January 19th, but would continue accepting Visa debit cards. Visa responded saying they would try and fix the problem. Elon Musk met with Brazil's communications minister to discuss providing satellite internet to indigenous communities, remote schools, health centers, and Elon explained how Starlink could help monitor illegal deforestation. This is one to watch, Starlink. And a cyber attack has caused cheese prices to tumble. Hackers allegedly targeted one of America's largest cheese producers, interrupting production and causing prices to fall as a result. Now, if you interrupt the production of cheese, the stock of the cheese company may go down, but you can bet your bottom dollar the price of cheese at the grocery store is on the way up. Other things you might need to know today. The House has censored Republican Representative Paul Gosar from right here in Arizona and stripped him of his committee assignments for tweeting an anime or meme video depicting him killing Representative Ocasio-Cortez with a sword and attacking President Biden. Two Republicans, Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger, joined Democrats in favor of the measure, and Representative David Joyce, Republican from Ohio, voted simply present. The vote marked the first such censure action in more than a decade. Gosar sat through the House debate wearing an American flag mask. He said no threat was intended by the Post and expressed no regret. What is so hard about saying that this is wrong? Of all people, asked Ocasio-Cortez. Biden is trying to find somebody he can blame the high gas prices on. President Biden on Wednesday told the FTC to investigate whether oil and gas companies are engaging in illegal conduct that is pushing gas prices higher during the pandemic. Could it be, Joe, that you shut the pipeline down? The bottom line is this: gasoline prices at the pump remain high even though oil and gas company costs are declining, said Biden. The national average price of a gallon of regular gasoline has risen to a 7-year high of $3.41, up $1.29 from a year ago, according to the American Automobile Association. California's average price set a record Tuesday at $4.68 per gallon. The jump in pump prices came as the price of U.S. benchmark crude oil nearly doubled over the last year. Thank you, Joe Biden. Some of you may not be old enough to remember Malcolm X. Lawyers for two of the men convicted for the assassination of Malcolm X, a black activist who rose to prominence as a spokesperson for the Nation of Islam, expect them to be exonerated Thursday. Historians have long questioned the case against the men. Both spent more than 20 years in prison. Aziz, 83, got out in 1985. Islam was released in 1987 and died in 2009. A 22-month investigation by their lawyers and Manhattan District Attorney Cyrus Vance's office has concluded that the FBI and the New York Police Department withheld documents and other evidence of their innocence during their trial. It's long overdue, says civil rights lawyer Brian Stevenson, founder of the Equal Justice Initiative. Now, I'm all for justice, okay? But how much time, how much taxpayer money has been spent exonerating two people that are already in the ground or in heaven or hell? I don't know how they live their life. I mean, with so much on our plate, with so many current ongoing problems, the violence in the streets of New York, do we really have the time or money to focus on this? If these men were falsely accused, then that is a terrible, terrible thing. You know, they say that everybody in jail claims they're innocent, but according to the Innocence Project, it turns out it's true. A lot of the people in jail, or who were in jail, actually were innocent. And I support the Innocence Project 100%. Our old friend Steve Bannon, a longtime strategist of former President Donald Trump, pleaded not guilty on Wednesday to a criminal contempt of Congress charge for defying subpoenas issued by the House Select Committee investigating the deadly January 6th Capitol attack. Now, if we followed the story, we understand what deadly means. It's not like what it sounds, but this is the mainstream media. Bannon surrendered Monday and vowed to fight the charge, calling the case a politically motivated attack. The House voted 3 weeks ago to hold Bannon in contempt for refusing to provide documents and testimony to the committee, leaving the Justice Department to determine whether to file charges. Trump has told his former advisors not to cooperate with the investigation of the January 6th attack by a mob of his supporters, trying to prevent lawmakers from certifying his election loss to President Biden. Now, I can find very few parts of this that are not complete BS. And here's more BS. The shaman, we've seen his picture a million times on TV and print on the internet. The shaman, who, by the way, is from Arizona, Jacob Chansley, has been sentenced to 41 months in prison. He's been in solitary confinement for 10 months. Now, here's what he's guilty of. He stormed the Senate chamber during the attack with his face painted red, white, and blue, and wearing a fur helmet with horns. He pleaded guilty in September to obstruction of Congress for his role in the attempt by a mob of former President Donald Trump's supporters to prevent lawmakers from certifying Trump's loss to President Biden. Videos showed Chansley yelling at police officers and leading rioters through the Capitol's halls. Lamberth told Chansley he appeared genuine in your remorse, but his crime was horrific, as you can now see, and merits a 41-month sentence. And this, guys, If it hasn't happened to you, I'm pretty sure it's happened to somebody you know and care about. The U.S. recorded 100,306 drug overdose deaths in the 12 months that ran through April, the most ever according to Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. It was the first 12-month period in which overdoses surpassed 100,000. The record marked nearly a 29% rise compared to the same period a year earlier, indicating a sharp rise during the coronavirus pandemic. It's telling us that 2021 looks like it will be worse than 2020. Currently, more people die from an overdose of opiates, specifically fentanyl, which is made in China and then shipped to Mexico, where it's pressed into fake pills that look just like those little blue oxys that you get from your doctor, but they are deadly. More people dying of drug overdose than automobile accidents, and we have an open southern border, whereas I speak, people are just prancing across the Rio Grande right into the U.S. with a backpack loaded with, in many times, enough doses of fentanyl that's already been printed into the little pills to kill every man, woman, and child in America. Travis McMichael, the white man accused of killing Ahmaud Arbery, testified Wednesday he shot the black jogger in self-defense. McMichael, who along with his father and another man chased down Arbery as he ran through their Georgia neighborhood, said Arbery tried to take away his shotgun and he believed he was in a life or death situation. Travis McMichael said he and his father, Gregory, thought they recognized Arbery as a man captured on video walking through a nearby house that was under construction. They chased him thinking he was a burglar, trying to make a citizen's arrest. Not a good idea. The prosecutor suggested the men weren't chasing Arbery to detain him. Not once during your direct examination did you state that your intention was to effectuate an arrest of Mr. Arbery until your attorney asked you that leading question. Isn't that right? McMichael replied honestly, yes. And the Catholic Church is even bowing to the mighty Joe Biden. The U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops voted 222 to 8 on Wednesday to approve a document on Catholics and the sacrament of the Eucharist or Holy Communion, the central rite of Catholic religious observance. 3 bishops abstained. The 30-page document titled The Mystery of the Eucharist in the Life of the Church is the fruit of a year-long debate on whether to deny communion to politicians who support abortion rights, sparked by the election of President Biden, the second Catholic president. The first Catholic president was John Fitzgerald Kennedy. In the end, the National Catholic Reporter said, the U.S. bishops approved a milquetoast text summarizing Catholic teaching on communion. The document doesn't name any Catholic politicians, only obliquely refers to their special responsibility to model Catholic teaching and barely even mentions abortion. A lunar eclipse will leave 90% of the moon in darkness Thursday night, tonight, and early Friday over North America. It will be the longest partial lunar eclipse since 1440. Although it will be about 12 minutes shorter than the total lunar eclipse on July 27th, which was the longest in recent history. These events only occur on the night of a full moon when it passes through the Earth's shadow. Thursday's full moon will be the smallest one of the year. This so-called micro-moon, the counterpart of a supermoon, occurs when the moon is near a full apogee, when its orbit is farthest from the Earth. The November full moon is also known as a beaver moon, because this is the time of year when beavers are building their winter dams. Now, while we don't go along with astrology, astronomy is a proven science, and if the gravitational pull of the moon can control the tides, how far they come in and how far they go out, what power might it have over the human body, which is approximately 70% water? Think about it. And last in news today, a rapper has been shot in a Memphis cookie shop. A rapper, Young Dolph, was reportedly shot and killed while buying cookies at a Memphis, Tennessee bakery on Wednesday. He was 36. The owner of Makita's Butter Cookies told Fox 13 that the rapper, known for albums like King of Memphis and Rich Slave, entered the store at about 1 p.m. and someone drove up and shot him. The Memphis Police Department confirmed the killing. Young Dolph's attorney, Scott Hall, told TMZ he was in the area for a Thanksgiving giveaway and was on his way to hand out turkeys to the less fortunate. The world has lost an icon, a great man and beloved artist who has been taken out too soon, a representative for the APA told Variety. His dedication, drive, hard work, and loyalty to all those around him always came first, and he will be deeply missed. And that's the news from the real world to the tech world. And now to the stock world, or the futures world. This is the daily chart. We just talked about it. We've been trapped for 4 sessions, 1, 2, 3, 4, with blue and climbing acting as resistance above us, the step line acting as support below us. Here's the all-time historic intraday high, all-time historic closing high, and here's where we sit today. This type of sideways consolidation at or near all-time historic highs is not unusual at all. If price breaks through blue and climbing, takes out the high of November 16th, we could then look for a break of November 5th's high, which would take us to the 24% fib extension at 47.27, then the 38 at 47.93, the 50 at 48.46, and the 62 at 4900. If things head in the other direction, that would mean a break and hold below the step line. Then we have the daily BBC right here at 46.25, and below the daily BBC is the shallowest possible fib retracement, the 24% fib, which is at 46.05. Now, that fib will change if we put in a new all-time historic intraday high before the retracement. So it's been sort of a grueling week. If you found trading this week perhaps somewhat more difficult than usual, here's your reason. Okay? All right. S&P 30-minute chart. As Michael showed you, this was the opening candle on Wall Street. Okay? And we traded all the way down to the weekly trading zone at 4670/71. Now these weekly trading zones, we've published them since December 14th of 2009. They go out to our members Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. Once posted, they don't change. They're carved in stone for the entire week. Our traders have an opportunity to get the new zones on their charts before Wall Street wakes up for the week. However, as we discussed earlier in the week, you don't throw out the old zones until you're convinced the new zones have taken hold. And back on Monday, we had a beautiful example of that. If you missed Monday's show, you can check it out on YouTube and you'll see exactly what I mean. So, the vertical line separates today, Thursday, from yesterday, Wednesday. So this was the opening candle last night. Price ran up to the BBC, where it found resistance, which sent it back to the step line where it found support, which led to a bullish cross, which took us right up to the target at 46.94. From 46.90 to 46.94, that's 4 points, $50 a point, $200 per contract traded. Now, we had a little move right here that put in a high at 46.91. It's 1 point. And then we did the same thing here. And then we dipped back below the trigger, and off we went for the big move. Not only did we hit the target, but we continued beyond the target to this area here, where we've now put in a double top on the session. Okay, so you've got an important area of resistance right here. Price has pulled back to the BBC, which we expect to hold as support, because the pullback holds more often than it doesn't. Price is also dropping to a weekly zone, 46.94/95. When price drops to a weekly zone, we expect that to be support as well. So we have two reasons to anticipate support here. However, if support fails to hold, then we will trade what's in front of us and trade the short side. This morning, on the big drop, we triggered the CTA at 46.75, and it immediately ran to the target at 46.71. That's a 4-point move at $50 a point, $200 per contract traded. So again, bullish cross led us to the zone. We consolidated. We attempted the zone overhead, but we ran into resistance. You can tie it back to this high right here. Okay. Price did the big dip, came back, got back above the BBC, ran right back into that same resistance area, has sent us back to the BBC and to the zone, which we expect to be good support until proven otherwise, at least under normal conditions. And being at all-time historic highs, it's not exactly normal conditions, but a move to the upside is what we would anticipate. Price could dip down below the CTA trigger and give us another trigger on the long side back up to the zone at 46.94. We have to be patient and see how this unfolds. Okay? Now, onto the Dow. On the Dow, on the long side, we put in a swing high at 961. That's $55 per contract traded, and then price was rejected. Price behaves around a CTA much like it does around a weekly trading zone. Only three things happen at a weekly trading zone. Consolidation is the most likely. Rejection is the second most likely. The third and least likely is the slice. See how this candle sliced through that zone like it wasn't even there? And then continued through the next zone. And now what's it done? It has retraced all the way back to the zone it sliced through originally, and is now continuing in the direction of the slice. Okay? Now, the CTA number on the short side for the Dow was 36,815. The target below, of course, the weekly zone. On every long trade, the final trade to target is the zone above. On every short alert, whether it's concierge or logic, is the weekly trading zone below. So we went from 815 down to 65. So out of sheer laziness, I'm going to go 815 minus 765, which gives us 50 points at $5 a point. It's $250 per contract traded. And then we kept going. Now we returned to the area we originally sliced through, and we've triggered again for the second time at the CTA number. Hopefully you know that these lines are only good for today's session. Once the CTAs are published, they're good for the entire session, just like the weekly zones are good for the entire week. Okay. We came shy of reaching the zone below. We're now consolidating, or we did consolidate here at this zone, and we've now dropped back through the trigger. And from 815, so far we've dropped to 787, we'll call it 790, 25 points, $5 a point. You can do the math. Where's the market most likely to find support on this move down? Most likely at the zone below and or the step line. Okay. In order to trade this market, I would like to see price get below this zone, below red and falling, and then I would be interested in this window of opportunity right here, which could continue all the way down to the zone below. Okay. On the Russell, there was no trigger on the long side. Right here is where the markets opened last night. They ran up to the weekly zone, which we expect to be resistance. It pulled back to blue and climbing, which we expect to be support. We went back to challenge the zone. Riding the back of blue and climbing, we were able to get above the BVC. We were able to put in a swing high here, which ties into these highs right here. Price then got back to the weekly trading zone. When we dropped to a zone, we expect support. We found support, and that gave us a run up to a slightly higher high that ties right into that high, but we never triggered the long CTA. Now, bearish cross, price pulled away, price pulled back, down we go. On the first trigger of the CTA at 23.65, we dropped to 23.46. 9 points. Oh, no, more than that. Hang on. I'll use my dollar store calculator. 65 minus 46. That's 19 points. At $50 a point, that's $950 per contract traded. We triggered a second time, and the swing low this time was 23.58. We'll call it 59. 6 points, $50 a point, $300 per contract traded. A break of this low opens a window of opportunity down to this low, and then a break of that low would have me very interested in trading this window of opportunity right here. Okay. See how we came down? Pull back to the VVC. We expect that to be resistance. It was, and it sent price. Once price finds resistance, it's going to go look for support. Okay. Has it found support at red and falling? Since red and falling is now directly below price. Look for a break of this low. A break of that low creates a small window of opportunity from 58 to 56. And then a break of that low creates this window of opportunity. And we're already below right there. That is this week's lowest weekly trading zone for the Russell. Okay, so we look for, at this point, continued downside on the Russell. On the NQ, this is where the market opened, right at a weekly trading zone. Price rode the back of blue and climbing right up through the trigger, at 16,357. And we put in a swing high at 410. So 410 minus 357. It's 53 points at $20 a point. That's $1,060 per contract traded. That's what the market made available. As you can see, this previous swing high took it out by just a little bit, but it did serve as resistance. The market tried again, and then it failed, which put us back below the trigger. Unfortunately, not all triggers are created equal. You see, on a long trade, we need the benefit of blue and climbing, okay? Now on the short side, we got rejected right at the CTA. That's not uncommon. We see it happen day after day after day. Important prices, important areas. Just like price gets rejected at a weekly trading zone, it can equally get rejected at in fact, this number is actually 16,305. So, okay, we're right down to it and caught our bounce. Okay. Now, I say not all triggers are created equal because on this trigger, we've got red and falling overhead. We get back below the trigger, we trigger again, and we've still got red and falling overhead. So if you were going to trade this move, the best thing you could have done would have been to wait for a break of these highs. Okay, high, slightly higher high, slightly higher high. That smells like an uptrend. So a break of this high could have given you an opportunity of something like 16,425 up to the current swing high, which is 16,490. Price pulled back. It didn't quite make it to the BBC. Blue and climbing held as support. Right now, price is sitting on top of the step line, currently acting as support. A window of opportunity would be here and then here. Okay. In order to take a short trade, we would need price to get below the step line, below blue and climbing, below the BBC, and then we could trade it to the downside, down to the weekly trading zone. A break of that weekly zone could give us an opportunity to actually trade the short CTA trigger on the NQ. So we've covered the S&P, the Dow, the Russell, the NQ. Crude oil, we're now trading GCLF 22. This morning in the live training room, when I popped in, I drew a couple windows of opportunity. As you can see, they've all filled. We had a pullback to the BBC, and I wanted to get above that high. That's what that's all about. And then I said if we can get above that high, then there's this window of opportunity. So both windows filled. This one filled twice. This one filled once, and looks like it wants to try and fill a second time. Now the CTA number on crude last night was 78.25. Swing high was, come on, talk to me. Tell me something good. 78, come on. Why does it do that sometimes? 78.42? Okay. So from 25 to 45, that would be 20 points, so 17, about $170 per contract traded. Price got back below the trigger, triggered again, and basically put in a double top. So probably about $150 per contract traded. On the short side, this is where we opened last night, below the BBC. Price came down to the short trigger. It got rejected here. On this move, the trigger was at 85. We traded to 76. That's 9 points, or $90 per contract traded. We got back above the trigger, triggered again. This time we dropped to 76.50. That's $350 per contract traded. As you'll notice, as price rose, we had a bullish cross. Price pulled away. Price pulled back. The pullback held and led to the filling of these windows. And as I said, it looks like this window filled twice. It looks like this window is attempting to fill a second time as well. Okay. All right, 2 markets left, gold and silver. Gold triggered 1871 shortly after the open. It hit 73.3, so that's $230 per contract traded. Over here, we had a high of 72, that's $100 per contract traded. On the short side, 1860 was the trigger, and the swing low was 56.70, so $230 per contract traded. From zone down to the zone and just consolidating at the zone. Okay, and the last market is silver. The long CTA barely triggered, short CTA fully triggered. Now, a $1 move in silver is $5 grand. 2 pennies is $100 bucks. So from 25.20 to 25.23, that's 3 pennies. 2 pennies, $100 bucks. And we get back below the trigger, trigger again. 2.5 pennies. Okay, and then we did trigger on the short side right here, and we hit the target to the tick. The short side was 25.07. The target, now the zone is 24.97/98. So that's a 9 penny move. $450 per contract traded. Then we sort of consolidated around the trigger, but we did put in a low, 25.02.5. We'll call it 25.03. That's 4 pennies, $200 per contract traded. And then we did it again, and then we did it again. This time, not only did we hit the target, we ran all the way to the zone below at 24.74/75. which we expect to be good support. Now this candle sliced through the zone. We've seen more slices of late than in the history of Logic 247, but when the slice ran out of steam and found support at the weekly zone, what did it do? It retraced back to the zone it sliced through, and then it continued in the direction of the slice. Price has now pulled back up to the zone and the BBC. Our eyes should be on the short side, but blue and climbing could be potential support. This low could be potential support. So if you're looking for a window of opportunity, it's going to be down here, like so. You gotta overcome the obstacles before you expose yourself to the risk. And here we are, still trapped. Fortunately, I think that may be the theme going into tomorrow, into the week, and the next week is Thanksgiving. I'm trying to remember how the Thanksgiving schedule, I don't know if we have a full day Wednesday or a half day. We'll ask Bert to check the calendar and break that confusing calendar down into something we can actually wrap our brain around. Now keep in mind, we celebrate Thanksgiving here in America, but other countries don't. So the global futures markets will be open as normal. The only difference will be the stock market will definitely be closed Thursday. I can't remember if it closes the Friday after Thanksgiving or not. But we'll advise you next week what to anticipate as far as hours of operation, both of the live training room and the daily live broadcast. So with that, we'll go to our good word for the day. We've been talking about the different names of God. What's in a name? Everything. Yesterday we talked about Jehovah Shammah and what that means. Today we're going to change our topic and talk about fear. It's one of the enemy's most powerful tools. John 4:18 says, "There is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear, because fear involves torment. But he who fears has not been made perfect in love." Now, I'm not throwing shade at anybody, because I'd be throwing shade at myself to say that I don't experience fear. There are many moving parts in this life, and again, fear is one of the most powerful tools that the enemy has. Modern science even confirms the truth of this scripture. There is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear. Love and fear are incompatible. They can't coexist. Children have several basic needs. Two important ones. I'm sorry, I was receiving a text. I apologize. Children have several basic needs. Two important ones are a need to explore. Remember when your kids were little? Man, you put them down on the floor once they learn how to crawl, and they're everywhere. They need to explore. That's how they learn, grow, and develop. The other basic need a child has after a need to explore is a need to feel safe. If they don't feel secure, they won't explore. Every human being needs a secure base from which to investigate and grow. Research confirms that, generally speaking, one parent more than the other will push a child to take chances, run risks, and learn that a little danger is a good thing, while the other parent tends to be the comforter, the soother, the safety net. But the truth is, any parent can give a child both gifts. When we're afraid, our body activates its sympathetic nervous system. Our heart races, our breathing becomes faster and shallower, and our muscles tense up. You know that feeling you get when you put a trade on? Yeah, you got to get rid of that. I'm serious. So we run to our non-anxious presence, our comforter, protector, and parent. Now, as adults, that comfort might come in the form of a pill or a bottle or some other ungodly behavior. So we have to be very careful. Because as we are held, reassured, and loved, the parasympathetic system takes over. Whether it's a loving parent taking you into their arms and holding you, or the pill or the bottle or the whatever. Once you have that, our heart rate slows, our breathing becomes deep and even, our muscles relax, and blood flows back to our brain. In essence, a little voice inside of us says, I can go out and face the world again. I know this hits home for a lot of people who have ever battled any kind of addiction. Okay? Trading's a dangerous business for an addict. I'll leave it at that. Doesn't mean you shouldn't be a trader and you can't learn to be a trader. Just means that you're trading with a limp. Okay? You have more to overcome than most. It's a fact in the physical realm that perfect love casts out fear. And it's also true in the spiritual realm. With a God who is tender enough to love and comfort us, yet strong enough to be our rock and our fortress, we can face what life throws at us and grow stronger as a result. And that's our good word for the day. Now, Michael mentioned earlier that tonight, Thursday night, is our members only workshop. And members only means exactly that, members only. So, if you've been on the trial and you're ready to become a member so that you can have access to everything we offer, everything we do, everything we've ever done, and the things we're going to do in the future, you need a passport. It's a lifetime passport. Everything a trader needs, all under one roof, one low price. Once you purchase a passport, you'll never spend another dime with us. Period. End of story. To get started on your journey as a true member of the family, go to eminifuturestrading.com. It's very simple to get signed up, to get your passport. If you have any questions on getting signed up, call Valerie at 949-42-EMINI, or just send an email to support@cfrn.net. If you want a shot at becoming the 1 out of 10 versus the 9 out of 10, you're going to need somebody to teach you how to trade. That's what we do every day in the live training room. We don't just send you some PDFs and some videos to watch and then wish you the best. No. We put a living, breathing teacher in front of you every day for 2 hours, from 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Eastern, every trading day, putting on and taking off trades, live in real time, explaining every move he makes, why he made it, the reason behind it, and the rule for it. And of course, answering all of your questions as you trade along with him. In the beginning, when you get your passport, you'll trade along with him in Sim. You'll stay in Sim until you put together 10 consecutive days in a row. Once you've done that, our 24/20 blueprint will give you the green light to go live with one contract. Now that you've gone live, you have a new goal: to increase your account balance by $2,000. Once you've done that, the blueprint will give you the green light to add a second contract. The blueprint will always notify you when it's time to add an additional contract, but you only add one at a time, and you only add with profit you earned in the market. If you follow the blueprint as it's laid out, I'm not going to say you can't blow up an account, but boy is it going to take a long time, and boy are you going to have to break a lot of rules. 9 out of 10 new traders fail simply because they're trying to learn from a book or a series of videos. We got nothing against books, we got nothing against videos. In fact, every one of our new members gets a legal free copy of Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. We ourselves have thousands and thousands of videos, but they're no substitution for a living, breathing instructor putting on, taking off trades live in real time while you watch, ask questions, and trade alone. Imagine you want to become an electrician, a plumber, a brain surgeon, a rocket scientist, an astronaut. Could you even imagine trying to do that without having someone teach you how to do the job? Of course not. So again, we provide everything a trader needs, all under one roof, at one low price. That includes the live training room every day for life. We teach you our proprietary methodology. You own our proprietary indicators for life. You receive the Logic 247 and the Concierge Trade Alerts. And you have access to unlimited one-on-one mentoring. And it all starts right here at EminiFuturesTrading.com. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading E-mini futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.